Hey everyone, hope you are doing awesome. Welcome back to my channel Pega with another video. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for all the appreciation and praises and love that you guys have provided. And I can see within a week the number of subscription has increased from 100 to 200. I'm so happy that you guys are liking my videos and getting to know and getting to learn Pega from scratch. Today I'm going to continue explaining about my data transform part 3 video, or I would like to say final part of my data transform series as planned. I would strongly suggest you to see the data transform introduction part 1 and part 2 video before you start seeing this one. You can find those links in the description box. This way you won't miss anything. In part 3, I would explain the highlighted action based on a use case. So let's get into it. So the use case which I'm going to explain in this case is the use case that we use in our day-to-day life. For Android user, it's Google Keep, and for Apple user, it's the Note. So if you could see on the screen, what I have done is I'm going to create a task detail, and then when I like to add the task, that those tasks will be part of my pending task detail. Now, once I finish those pending task detail, once I select those checkbox and do a complete task, then those set of tasks should go to the complete task and also be removed from the pending task. So without further delay, let's first understand to achieve that use case what we need to do with respect to property, and then we will take it from there. Now, as you could see on the screen, you need to create three different property. One is the task name, which you are going to enter, which will be of text type. And then you need to create a page list called pending task detail, which will have three property: check, task name, and task date and time. And I have mentioned also the type of the property there, and also you need to have a complete task detail, which will be another page list which will store all your completed task list. I hope you got a very high level idea about the property. So let's first create those property, then I will show you how you're gonna integrate them into the section, and eventually how you're gonna achieve that use case. So let's first thing first, let's log into Pega. So what I have done, because this is kind of an use case that I don't want to create every time one case type, so I just created a test case type. And like I always do, what I did is I simply have created a single step, and we are going to achieve all these use cases in the same step by using the page list in the data transform. Now, so first thing first, let's create that property. So what I'm going to do is first is I will go to that class. In the data model, go to that particular class. Okay. In the data model, what you need to do is create a property. Now create property. Now property name, give new task name. And like I told, it's going to be a text property, right? Now I'll save it. Now, if you remember, the second step which we need to do is create a page list property, right? Now, to create a page list property, what you need to do is first you create the data class. This is the step you should always follow when you're going to create a page or page list property. I was thinking of having a separate video, but I thought I'll cover it in this video itself. So let's first create this task detail class in the data section. Then you create this page list. To do that, what you need to do is first you need to go to the data class. So if you see, mine is xyz pg hyphen work hyphen test case type. So just go until work, and then just click on that and get rid of this hyphen, click on enter. So you see there is a data class, there is a work class. Until now we were inside this work class. Now you need to go to this data class. Now first thing first, let's create a class. To create a class inside data, you need to right click on the data and then create, and then go to system admin, and then click on the class. Okay. Now here I wanted to name this class as task details, right? Like we planned. Now just use the same thing here and mention at the bottom also. Okay. Now it obviously a class is a data instance rule. It doesn't have a rule set version. I would probably create another video which will tell you what is the difference between a rule set instance and a data instance. But at that time, just understand that a class is a data instance. It doesn't need a rule set version. Now here we are going to tell created in which version. So you always going to choose the highest version. Okay, it doesn't matter as long as the rule set is unlocked. Now here we are going to storing the properties of task detail class. Something a description. I'm not fussed about at the moment. Just give a description. Without this, it will complain for class. Now I hope you got the class ready. Now you just refresh it, so you will find. So what I'm gonna do is, just for the timing, I'll go to the data layer so I can see that class task detail. Right now I need to create three property. One is checked property, one is task name, and one is task date and time. So let's create three property. Task detail. Now here create. First I need to create a property, data model and property. So I'll just name it as checked, and checked is going to be a boolean, so true and false. Now my second property is task name property. Remember, task name property is a text property, right? So you cannot save as, because if you do save as, the other property also going to be boolean property. So do it in a proper way, like data model. Here you can't have any shortcuts, unfortunately. Task name, and then change it to it's already a text property. All good. Now the third property is a date time, so you need to create again, not save as, data model property, and what I have named is task date and time, right? Task date and time. Okay, created, and this change it to date time property. I'm going to save that now. Okay, now this just refresh it. When you want to refresh, just click on here and enter. Automatically it will refresh, or you can do application and refresh App Explorer, whatever you want. Now go to task detail, like we just have created. I've created these three property, right? All good. Now, so like I told, whenever you create a page list or a page property, you got two part. First, define your data class, then create a page list in the work class, and then refer the data class as a definition of that particular page list. Please repeat it again. Define the data class and also the property, then create the page list property in the work class, then refer the data class in the page list property. Okay, so now we have done the define part of the data class. Now we need to create this page list property in the work class. Now in the work class means I'll go back to again the same layer. Now inside the work class, now I need to create a page list property. Now where I need to create a page list property? In obviously inside test case type, right? Now here what I'll do is I'll create a page list property here. Now I'll go to page. Now my name is pending task detail. Now here I'll create, here change it to page list property. Now when you change it to page list property, now the whatever data class you created, xyz hyphen data class hyphen data xyz hyphen pg hyphen data hyphen task detail, just put as a page definition. So what does happen if you put that? Many of you already know that, but I'll just repeat quickly. What will happen if you put that? Inside the data model of that particular class, basically you will have a page list which will have those property which you have created in that data class. The idea behind creating in the data class, so that we can reuse it. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to create the similar property of completed task detail, which will refer to the same class. So now what I need to do is, because it's same, everything same, so all I need to do is save as, and I'll change the name as to completed task list, and then I'll create. Now because I have created, it's a page list, it belongs to the same class. As you could see, now if I go, let me redirect it to work class and test class case type. Now if you see, I go to data model property, I have got as per my plan, new task name text, new task name test, completed task list, task detail, and pending task detail as a page list property, which has got a page definition called data hyphen task detail, which has got this property. Now we are good with respect to my data model. Now what I need to do is I need to integrate them into the section, right? So now to integrate them into section, what I need to do is, I know which section I have created. So whenever you created, just be careful about the section, and when I say be careful, just know what section you have got. And then what you can do is you can navigate to that particular class where you created a section. So when you created a case, automatically you will have a section, right? Default. So navigate to that particular one. So I've renamed it to do task. So I'll just open, this is my section. So the first thing is I will put the text property. So first thing is I need to enter the task name and click on submit, and that's how I want the task name to get into pending task detail, right? Now first what I'll do is I'll put a text property, right? Data capture text input. Now text input, what I need to do is I will say new task name. Okay. Now here what I'm going to do is instead of use property default, here I'm going to put enter the task name just to make it little fancy, nothing rocket science, right? So enter the task name. Okay, now the user has entered. Let me check out first. User is going to enter. Now second, what I need to do is I need to put a button. Okay, so now to put a button, I think it's in action. Okay, so put a button wherein I am going to name that as a add task, right? Now what my idea here is I wanted to so I'll click on the task. So probably I'll just run it and show it to you, right? So here I've got a task name and I'll put like, need blah, 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 blah. So, and then I'll click on add task. The moment I click on add task, then I need to see the pending task detail. So basically I want to add the task into my pending task detail. Now to add the task into your pending task detail, what you need to do is you need to form the pending task detail, wherein you need to add this checked task date and time and task name, right? And it has to be shown here. So let us first, so you can do in two ways, right? One is you first create your data transform and then add into that section, right? Another one is you created the section and then add into the data transform. So let us go in a proper sequence. So let us add that into the data transform first and then understand, how it is generating in the clipboard, and then you generate in the section, right? Now to add them into the data transform, the first thing is we need to put an action and event here on the button add task. Now here what action, when I click, that's where I want it to refresh the section, and in turn what I need also call a data transform so I can manipulate the data, right? So now here what I'm going to do is I will name is add task to pending details, right? Now what I'll do, I'll create that as a new one. So click on the crosshair. I mean, by now you must be an expert on how to create via this way. So I'm not gonna repeat those things. So click on the crosshair, create and open. Now let's, as always, first thing first, do not forget to save that. So first save this one by choosing a comment, go back to the section, submit it, and then save it. That's the first thing, because sometimes we miss it and then we'll be banging our head why it is not working, right? Now, so here, so previously I've explained you all the other properties. So in this session, what we are focusing on, append to, append and map to, and for is page in, exit for is, and also I'm going to focus on sort and exit data transform, right? These are the things which I'm going to focus on. Now the use case will definitely cover append and map to, because I do not have a right use case to show you append to, but they both are same. I will just tell you the theoretical difference so you would understand everything. And also I have the use case which will cover sort. I have the use case which will cover for each page in, and I will show you how to use exit for it. And exit data transform is pretty simple. I'll just show you how we can do, right? Now let's first understand what is the difference between, as part of the part 3, I told that we are going to understand about the pages. Now first understand what is the difference between append to and append and map to, right? Now let's say in simple word, right? Now let's say what do you mean by append, right? Now I have JO, I want to append with a simple English language, I want to append with HN. So this will become John, right? I mean, this will become John, right? This is what append does, right? Simple English meaning of append. Now in Pega, what is append to and append and map to means, when you say append to, it will take directly the page list and it would not give preference to the properties inside the page list. Now here if you see, if I do append to, it tells me to give me a page list, right? it doesn't tell me it doesn't give me priorities to choose my property. I do not have control what this property will be set. Right now, it depends on I have a control, but it depends on what you're going to choose in the relation. Right now, when you say append and map to, the difference between, if you see, you are appending and mapping to the properties. So here, append and map to means it will give a privilege to choose your properties what you want to set. So if again, just I'm repeating it. If I do append, you see this property is gone. There is no set, because whatever I am going to choose a relation, it will be completely dependent on that particular source. Now, if I am doing an append and map to, now depending on what you choose the relation, it can completely depend on that source. Also, you have a complete control on what you are going to add to your individual property. Remember this one, individual property, right? I hope this is clear. Now, if you see append to, you will have 4 different operations to do. One is a new page. Now, when I say append to a new page, in simple word, what it does, it is going to create a blank page in clipboard. Now, for example, so let's say I'll say pending task detail, right? And I'll say checkout. Just I'm going to show you. It's obviously not going to help in my use case, but you will understand what it is doing. Now, I did what I did. So on click of add task, I am doing a append to, and I am going to pending task detail, a blank page, right? Now, if I go to text type, I do a save and run. Okay. Now understand at this point, right? When you just loaded it, what my clipboard looks like. Let's understand the clipboard. Click on the clipboard, go to PY work page. Now in the PY work page, you see there is no page list property, right? Now, as you know, if there is a page list property, in our case, it is pending task data, you will always find under PY work page, like how PX flow and all, right? We do not have now. Now, if I click on this one, you add the task or doesn't matter. If I click on add task, what I'm saying is I'm telling them to call the data transform append to pending task data with a new page. Now, let's see what is happening. I click on add task, right? Now I go to clipboard, okay? And now when I go to PY work page, did you see something happen? You saw an extra pending task detail. Now, if you expand this pending task detail, it is a page list, right? So obviously it will have an index called 1. Now, what this page list will have? A new page which will have all the blank detail, right? So if you see, there is no property which is inserted here. It just created a page, right? So because it's kind of an initialization. You know how we used to do an update page? It's kind of an initialization for that particular entry. If you have something, right, if you want to add those properties in later phase of time, you can do this initialization. So this is what a new page does, right? I hope you got it. Now, second thing is you got an existing page. Now let's say you have a page, simple page, not the page list, and you want to add them into this page list, then also you can do that. Now, as you know, I mean, if you know a little bit, this is a page list, right? So pending task detail is a page list, but pending task detail 1 is actually a page inside that page list, right? That's how clipboard works, right? Now, if I have a 2, it will be another page. You know how we got a book list of page, and page 1, page 2, page 3, right? And page 1 will have this own content, page 2 will have this own content. So similarly, this page list work. Now, when you create a new page, it will create just an entry. When you create when you want this page list to be updated with an existing page, then you need to give a page which will go and add this pending task detail. Right? Let's say at the moment I do not have a page, but I'm saying if you got a page, let's say you created a page called XYZ, right? Now that page you want to insert into this page list, right? So what it will do is it will create another entry here. Let's say if I want to insert now, it will create another entry called pending task detail bracket 2, which is the index of that, and it will insert that page. So that's how an existing page works. Now, if I go to current source page in, so basically it will, in this scenario, it is simply going to create another blank page. But generally, I will show you what this current source page does when I'm going to explain you the append and map to. Now, if I go to each page in, so basically it would expect another page list wherein you would loop that page list, and depending on that, you are going to set from that page list to this page list, right? I hope the theoretical part is good. Now let's jump into the practical part. Now in this scenario, what I'm going to do is, first thing is, okay, by the way, Append 2 also has got Append and Map 2 has also got the same 4 option: new page, existing page, current source page, each page in. So the only difference between Append and Map 2 is, in Append and Map 2 you have the control and luxury to set those property individually, but in Append 2 you do not have. That's the difference, right? Now for this instance, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add a task, okay, inside that one. So if you see add a task, I have a task date and time, which I need to generate on the fly, right? Dynamically, right? So that's why I would love to go for Append and Map 2. 90% of the time, unless I've got the same class, I will always go for Append and Map 2. So I'll have a little control over the properties. So let's do one thing, right? Now in Append and Map 2, what I need to do is, here, I need to do, there are two ways I can do. Okay, I'll show you. A new page. Let's go with a new page, so I can explain you what are the two ways that you can do. So in the new page, what I need to do is, first I will use the property called checked. So as you know, I already explained this. When you do Append and Map 2, when you put a page list property, then that means Pega will change the context. Now here you are setting the context. Now the context is changed and it will be data page, right? Now data event task detail context is what Pega is having. Now that's why this property came. Now all the check property, I wanted to make it a false. I'll tell you why. Once you see on the section, you'll get to know why I'm setting it to false. Now this task, the date and time, what I'm going to do is, I am going to assign it to the current time, right? So to assign it to current time, because it's a dynamic, right? The moment I want to add a task, I want to assign the same time. So because of the current date and time, so what I need to do is, there is a expression I need to build, which is a function. To get the current date and time, you need to use this function, which will automatically give you the current date and time, and it will save in the task date and time, right? I hope this is clear. Now the last part, which is the task name. Now for task name, what I need to do is, so see here, the task name which you have choose is part of your pending task detail. Now what task name you need to add? You need to add the task which you enter. Now whenever you enter this task detail, which property of Pega, it will have the task detail. Let's quickly see. Now if I enter a task detail, okay, now that I've written the code, so basically which property it will have in the clipboard? In the clipboard, if you go to py work page, you will have a new task name property which will have the value. I haven't submitted, that's why you can't see this value, but I'm saying this is where you will find, right? Now you need to assign this property inside that page list property. Okay, it is a very, data model setting and all, everything is very crucial. So once you understand the concept, then it is very easy for you to manipulate the data. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to assign the new task name of py work page inside pending task detail, whatever index it may be, of task name, right here inside the pending detail of task name. So to do that, here if you put a dot, right, if you put a dot, so you see how you got new task name. All you need to do is change the new task name, right? Now because this is where your property. Now why you can find, so if you see, if you put a dot, what did you find? You find the text case type, right? That is your case type, right? And you are finding all the property that has got in the case type, because this data transform is belongs to your work hyphen text case type. That's why you got all the property case type. Now if you see text case type, so I have added those text case type here. Now I hope you clear. So what I'm going to do is, every time I add, I am going to add this task name, runtime, I'm going to generate this current date and time, and I'm going to make this false, right? Now let's do one thing and see what is happening to start with, right? Now let's say need to go to market, right? Now I'll turn on the tracer, which is the best way, we see, what's happening. Now I'll click on add. So technically, let's go and see what is happening in the tracer. So obviously py work page. Now here I'm doing an append and map to. Here checked is false, and then okay, let's see what is. So if you click on the step page, you will see checked as false, right? Because that's what I have set. Now if you click on the date and time, this is where the action is ending. Now if you click on the date and time, I have the date and time which is automatically generated based on the current date time. Now if you click on the task name, you will see the task name which I have added is need to go to market. Now how this is happening? So basically if I open a py workpage here at the end of this data transform, if I click on py workpage, so first search for new task name. So I have taken this new task name value, which is need to go to market, and I have inserted into our page list property. Right now, what is my page list property? It is pending task detail. Now, if you see, if you would have noticed here, because I have previously had an entry which we have created as part of new data object, right? Because of that, what it Pega does is Pega, when I say append and map to miss, it just increase the index to another one because it's already there. It obviously need, it's a page list, right? It appended and mapped those property. So that is what it does. Now when it mapped the task name which I have, it got the task date and time, and it got the checked as false. I hope this is clear. Now what I'm going to do is I'll pause it for a while. So this part of the data transform coding is done. Now I hope you understood how we are using append and map to. And now what I'm going to do is I need to show this particular page list property, right, in my section. Now let's go ahead and build the section, right? Now to build the section, what I need to do is first you need to go to the particular section. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a dynamic layout. And in that dynamic layout, what I'm going to first put a header called pending task list. Okay, pending task details, let's say detail or task list, whatever you like, right? Now, to show a page list in the section, there are two ways that we can do. I can do a repeating dynamic layout, which I've already created a video. So I will again give you the link if people those who haven't seen my repeating dynamic layout video. I'll put that in the description box. And another way is I can add a table because I have got that video already. I don't want to go with the same structure. Let's learn something new, adding a page list into a table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this table here. Now in this table, what the first thing first choose click on this table. Okay, double click on the table. First do a little setup here so that the table will look good and it will be as per your use case. Now first thing is you need to give the source as your pending task data, because that's where you are going to show that on the section, because this is where you got all the data. Second thing is because I'm going to make it a read only, I don't need to I'll just ignore this header. I'll ignore this footer. So I have got this header and footer gone. So if you see here, yes. So you see here, you got a header, you got this footer, right? I just want to get rid of that, right? So the moment I submit, you'll see this will be gone and that will be gone. Now also another thing, go to operation tab, okay? And instead of none, you choose an inline one. I'll tell you why to do it, although it is a read only, but one property will be editable. You choose inline one, and either you can choose click row to edit, or just row always editable, whatever you like, doesn't matter. For the timing, just go ahead, row always editable, and save it. Did you see the header is gone, the footer is gone, right? Now second thing what you need to do is you need to add those three property. Now what are the three property? Checked, task date and time, and task name, right? Now let's add those properties. So this is okay, these are the column of the table. So what, because I have three properties, let's create three column to start with. Now first column, second column, and this is the third column, right? Now first column, let's say you choose checked, right? And this check, make it auto. Okay, leave that as editable because I want this to be editable. Now what this check, it will be, so if you see, because it's a true and false, and because I don't need to check, I don't need to do anything here, because if I open the checked property, because it's true and false, you see there is something called UI control, which is called PX checkbox, right? Because the default UI control is there, and here what it's saying, control inherited from property, because my control is already there as part of that property. That's why automatically I'll have a checkbox. As you could see in the background, the checkbox is already been there. I intentionally wanted to show this concept. That's why I didn't change anything here. Or you can here also come here. If it is a text property accidentally, let's say, you can change it to the checkbox right here. But I'm not doing it because I have got this checkbox already done, right? Now I'm going to submit here. Now I'll just name at the value. So I need to give a heading, right? So select. Let's give a heading as select. Now second thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the task name, right? Now what, and again it's a text property, automatically it's going to be a text. Now here what I'm going to do is I'll add task name. Okay. Now the third one which I'm going to do is I'm going to add the task date and time. Now here, okay, one thing I didn't tell, but yeah, let me do that. So when I add this task date and time or task name, I don't want it to be editable. At the moment, if you see, it's editable. So what I need to do is I need to make it read only, right? Because I could have done the entire table, but I want this to be editable, but these two will be read only. That's why if you see, I have given the whole table as an editable option instead, and I am going to make the read only for individual property. Now you go to presentation tab, in the auto, just make it read only always, right? The moment you do a save, you will see it's a read only. Do the same thing for this one also, and then we will add the header of task created date and time, right? Now make it a read only always, right? Now here, now if I go, let's add the column for task created date and time is task created date and time, or you just put task created date. Let's just to keep it as simple date. Sorry, yeah. So I hope you have built the section. Now if you see what we now I'll show you what is going to happen. Now let's create another one just to refresh everything, because we have done a lot of changes. Let's create another one. Okay. Now here, so you see you got a task detail. You have something called, and you can see the table that we have added. Now what you can do is you can need to go to market. Let's say that's one of your tasks, right? Now the moment I click on add task, what will happen automatically, as you already seen the cursor, it will go and create an entry of pending data step based on whatever we have given. So let's add a task, and then you see this select has came as checkbox, need to go to market, and task created date and time, right? Now I hope it is clear. Now two things here I wanted to change on the section. Again, this is something, a different concept that I want to show. See how you see the task created date time is 3/19/2022, but if you see today's date it is 20 March and 2022, isn't it? Now I mean, at the moment it is 20 March 2022, 2:37 p.m. in Australian time, right? Now but here you can see 19 March, which is 3/19 means 19 March 2022. Okay, now how do you change that? So this is where those control changes will come into picture. Now let's go to the section. Okay, now here what I'm going to do, first thing first, I am going to change this property. I don't want to control the inherit from property. I want to change this property to a date time. That's the first thing I need to do. Now where is my date time? Yes, so I got the date time, right? Now let's go to the presentation tab and see what you are finding is operator time zone. Here in the datetime format, you can choose anything that you like, right? Now that, so earlier it was in this format, that we choose it to January 1st, 2001, just to, make the look and feel. So it doesn't matter what, whatever you want, you can show on the screen, but I'm just choosing January 1st and 2001, right? Now here, what I did is operator time zone. So now technically, what it should show, it should show the time that I am in, right? Now if I click on submit, okay, let me create another case type and see what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another one, need to go to market. So technically if I put a add task, ideally it should show the operator time zone, which is whatever time zone you are in. Now when I added, did you see there is nothing changed? It has got the same time, right? I mean March 19 only. Ideally technically it should show March 20, isn't it? So now why it didn't show? The reason behind is we need to first go and see what is the operator time zone. Now if I click on operator and you click on operator here, the time zone that is there is called America and New York. That's the reason. Whatever actually, this date is not a GMT format. This date was America New York. So what exactly you need to do to change it to a particular date and time? you need to change the operator time zone to show the date where the operator is belongs to. Now here let me put Sydney, Australia, NSW, and then if I go create and something, need to go to market, need to go to hospital, add task. Did you see any changes in that time? No, because do you know what's the reason? Because now I have actually changed my operator time zone properly, but still there is no time zone difference. It happened. Why? Because anything that you change in operator, the first thing you need to do is log off and log in. So let us do log off and let us do log in to reflect those changes into that particular operator profile. Remember, if you're doing anything in the operator profile, you need to log off and log in first. So now I have logged up and logged in. Now let's try to create a new case. Let me go ahead and create a new case, or we can open an existing case. Doesn't matter. Let's open an existing case. Let's need to go to market. Now let's see the magic. See, did you see the time? The date has already changed because now it is taking Australian time. Like logged up and logged in, and also at the same time in the section I have told to take the operator time zone. Also, see, if you see the date time format that I have chosen in Jan 1st like this, that's the reason why. Sorry, that's the reason why you see March 20, 2022. I hope this is clear. This is something you'll learn, although it is not part of this topic. And like I always do, I try to teach you or add some more concept to a master concept. So yeah, this is another concept which you hope you learn. People who do not know. So okay, without doing further delay, let's quickly see what happened. Now see, if you see, I have added the task. But one thing I don't like is every time I add a task, the task is still there. I want this to be cleaned up so I can add a another task peacefully. So to clean that up, what you need to do is, I'm pretty sure by now you would have remember what functionality you need to choose. What you need to do is just simple remove that particular property. So that particular property is new task name, right? Now save it. Now if I go, then you would see another magic, right? Need to buy egg or something, right? Egg. Now if I do add task, see, this is gone, right? You got this. Need to buy egg, need to market, need to do this, something. So keep on adding. I hope this is clear. Now what I'm going to do is, now second part of the use case is when I say why I have created a boolean value, because I want to check and I want to say these are completed, right? And when I say this is completed, that is where I wanted to show these details into my completed page list, which we have created when we started. Right now we have created new task and we have added the detail in the pending task. Now when I complete the pending completed detail from pending task, it should go and complete the task detail and store the detail into the completed task detail. I hope this is clear. Now let us go and try to build that. So first thing what I need to do is, I need to okay, I think I have saved this one. First thing, I go to the section, I will put a button here, just so that I can tell the button to, I wanted the user to click on the button, then only I will say, okay, the task is completed. Now here what I'm going to do is, I'm going to change the name of the button as completed, right? Now when I click on completed, what I need to do is, I need to show the completed task. So similarly, this time what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go other way around. So what I'm going to build the section first, then I'm going to go and data transform. So you would understand both the ways, right? First one, I build the data transform, then I have shown you this detail. Now to build other way around, what you need to do is, first you bring the dynamic layout, another dynamic layout. I just trying to make a difference because I need to put a header here, right? So that's why I am bringing a dynamic layout. So completed list, completed task list, right? Now I'll do a submit here. Now here what I need to do is, second thing, I need to bring a table. Now what would be my table source? My table source will be, now this time, completed task list, right? Now completed task detail, right? Now do the exact same way, make it inline, make it row editable. Yeah, it doesn't matter, it's all about sorting. Get rid of this, and do a submit. Now here if you see, although so if you see, my pending task detail belongs to the class called task detail, same as the completed task detail. That means in my completed task detail page list also I have privilege to use three property, but I don't need those three property. All I need to do is use two property, that is task name and task created date, right? And that's the beauty of reusability, that you create a superset, you reuse that into multiple places. Like we created a superset called uh, if you see, we created a superset called check task name, task detail, task date and time. We have used the same thing and reused in pending task detail and completed task detail. But completed task detail is only using a subset of that. It is not using this property, which is absolutely fine, right? So let's go and use those two property itself. So what I'm going to do is, first thing, I'm going to go here and add the task name, okay, and go to presentation, make it read only, and then you give the level name as task name, right? Now create another column, right? And here I'm going to give task date and time, right? And task date and time, I'm going to make it a, again it's the same thing. Now that we know read only always, go to change, make it a date time, okay? Now here obviously it's going to be let's go to presentation, make it read only always, operator date time. Just change the date time format to the format that you want to see on the show on the screen, and then change the column to, here what will happen, task completed date, completed date. See, although we are using the same property, but we are manipulating the data to for the user to see differently. See, that's the beauty, right? How we can reuse and change things in Pega. So yep. Now what I'm going to do is, so what my use case? The moment I check in this one and I click on completed, means this task will be coming in, setting into the completed list. Now to achieve this, what I need to do is, first I need to put an action and event. Now in the action and event, add action, you do a click because I want to do this action. Again, go at the same format, refresh, and now this time you cannot use the same data transform because that data transform behavior is different than this data transform. That data transform behavior is add this task to this pending task list, but this data transform behavior is add this task, completed task, to completed task list, right? So let's create it, add completed task list, right? Let's create this. Okay, now as always I do, put a comment here, save it, go there, submit, and then save it. Okay, now okay, now think, ask yourself what you are going to do. Basically you are going to, so okay, let me go here, so this will give you more visibility. So or maybe what I'll do is I'll create a new one. Okay, let's test case time. No, wait. Let me create a new one. So what I'm going to do is, let's say I have added some task. Okay. Now the moment I click on this and this, let's say I'm done with this one. The moment I click on completed, what I want this page list property to be populated from this page list property. So that's where we are going to use another feature where first let's go with append and map to, and which page list property that I want to populate, it is completed task list, isn't it? The completed task list page list property from pending task list page list property. So this is what is very crucial. You need to ask. So the target will be the one which you want to append and map to, and the source would be the one from where you're gonna get the value. Now here I am going to use each page in. Now why? Because if you see here, I have got more than one task to choose from, isn't it? So that means it can have more than one page. So what I need to do is, I want to basically check for each page in. So as you know, these are the one page in the page list property. The pending task list page list property, this is first page, this is second page, this is third page. So each page in is nothing but kind of another format of for each. So it basically loops that entire page list, and based on the condition, it will give the detail back to the target detail. Now I need to loop the pending task detail list, which I'll come here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to loop the pending task detail list. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set first the value of complete. So if you know the source, I have put here completed task detail, and I'm going to set the property that is called let's say task date and time, right? Now this date and time, let me generate this date and time from the current date and time, okay. Now I submitted this one. Whenever the user clicks, I just want to capture the same date and time, and I want to call that out as a completed date and time. Now the other one, if I enter, sorry, I have entered twice. Now the other one, if I have enter, so I'll add the task name. Now when I have this task name, which I've already told you guys many times before, so when you are in target, you change the context, the task name, whatever you are getting, you are basically telling the task name of completed task detail. Now in source, if I put a dot, because they both are belongs to the same class, obviously it is also going to have a task name, but this task name is nothing but your pending task detail dot task name. Now in section, if I tell the task name which I have put on the source is the pending task detail task name, and the task name which I am going to set in the target is the completed detail task list of task name. Do not get confused on that, right? Generally, I had seen many freshers get confused, so do not get confused. Try to repeat and tell yourself the same. Now here, what is the condition that I need to add those tasks into the completed task? The condition is if the user has this checkbox as true, isn't it? Now, how do you define the condition? This is a beautiful thing. So can you see there is this tiny mark here, right? Which is, I don't know what the symbol is, but this symbol is actually a when condition. When I was a fresher, I still remember I tried to find a lot about this, putting a when condition, and one day I couldn't. And then I was like, oh, this tiny symbol, what is that? Then when I clicked on, I realized, okay, this is a when condition. Now, what kind of when condition is this? This when condition is belongs to your source when condition. Now let us create a when condition. Now what would be my when condition? My when condition will be when that selected is true, right? When I would say pending task list dot select is true, right? Now because I have this pending task detail already in the source, right? That means my context has already changed, like I always tell you, right? Now if I click on here, first let's see append to the target when, right? Means when you are going to append to the target. That's what it's saying, telling. Now put a when condition and check as true. Okay, and then create that when condition. So click on this crosshair, create this when condition. You would see a thing which you should not be ignoring is when I click on the create when condition, did you realize the apply to classes changes to data hyphen task detail? Why? Because of the context change, which I was telling just before. Now this is for the source one, right? Yes, for the source one. Now let's create and open. Now here, go to advanced tab. Now because the task detail, the data task detail is the context change class, right? If I put a property which is called check, right, and I will say equal to true. So what it will happen is, now technically what it's going to do is, let me explain in theoretically. So let me submit here. What it's going to do is, it will come here in real time. It will come here. It will say for each page in pending task detail. So what it'll do is, it will, let's say here you got 3 tasks. I have checked 2, right? So it will say, okay, for each page in. So it will take first page. After it takes first page, what it's going to do is, it is going to go to the when condition. It will say pending task detail dot checked equal to true. Is it true? Yes, it is true. Then what it will do, it will proceed further and map the detail to complete task list. Now in this scenario, when it comes to the third page, it will come here. It will say pending task detail dot checked is true. It will say no, it's false. So it will ignore that particular page. So whenever the condition true, it will try to map that particular page to the target list. I hope it is clear. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to save this one. Let's do and see something in the section, the action to be happening. So let's create another task. Let me say need to go to market. Okay. Study by something, add something, right? So I've added 4 tasks, right? 4 tasks. Now let's say I want this to be completed. Now need to go to market. Let me show you also the tracer so you would understand. So need to go to market. The moment I say completed, can you see this need to go to market is here? Did you see that? Now let's see how tracer it worked. So what happened in the tracer? What did I do? First try to understand what did I do, right? Now let me go to the, yes, this is the, 1 second, I'll get you, yeah, add completed list. Let's try to see it started, as you could see it started from here. Now append and map to, what is trying to do is, if you see here, this is where you see append and map to your target. Here what target we put? Completed task list. So it's saying py workplace dot completed task list, where it is mapping to py workpage dot pending task list, right? Now on what condition? On the when condition. Now because I have this when condition, did you see it tried to execute the when condition, which is called checked checked as true, right? If you see this when condition. Now in this scenario I have checked the first one, right? In this scenario I've checked the first one, that's why you see checked as true, it came as true, right? As you could see, check this when rule became true. Because this when rule became true, what it trying to do is, see py workplace dot pending task list from first iteration, it try to map those first iteration py task pending task detail to completed task detail, which has added by task date and time, and which is at I mean this two property, which is task date and time and task name, has been added to completed list. Now if I click on here, you see this completed list has been filled. As you could see, py workplace dot completed list detail, you see the task name, the task date and time has been added, right? And but for when it try to iterate other, because they are false, it didn't even go and try to map, right? Hope it is clear. Now let me do one thing, let me add some more, just to let me add 2 more, right? Just to see. Now if I click on completed, did you see they both came? Now if you see what happened, again the same thing. I'll pause it here. Now you see here, first thing is it came, it tried to begin the data transform, and then first condition is false, because out of 4 iterations I have added 2 middle one. So it has added the middle one are true, and the first one and last one became false, and that's why those 2 has been added, and now you can see in the completed task list. Now I hope this is clear on how you are going to use append and map to, and also how you are going to use new page and an existing page, current source page, and each page in, right? Obviously in this example I have shown you a new page and a each page in, right? Now I told you that I'm going to show you a current source page in. Current source pages is going to be very similar, which I'll show you in a while. Just give me a moment. Now I hope this is clear. Now second thing is, what you need to understand, how does this for each work, right? Now if you see another thing, if you would have noticed, now when I checked in this one, right, I don't want this pending task list to have those details anymore. It's no more pending, isn't it? Why I need to have unnecessary, I'll have duplication, right? So obviously I need this to be removed from my page list, correct? Did you get it? Again, let me repeat this use case just so that you won't get confused. Now what I'm going to do is, I am going to, so here I have added, right? Now if I have this task again in the pending task list, show as if it is still pending. So when I'm completing this, it should be removed from this list, isn't it? So for that, what I need to do is, I need to remove the page list. Now to remove the page list, there are many ways that you can do, but today I'm going to show the best way that you can achieve that. Okay, now what is the best way? Now go here. Now first thing is, obviously the first target is that you are going to do a append and map, right, where you are going to add those details. Now second thing what you're going to do is, now what you are going to remove it, those tasks which has got a checked as true, right? Now because it's a page list, you do not know in runtime, you do not know which will be, right? So that's the reason, which will be checked, right? So that's the reason you need to loop them in first. So this is where our for each will come into picture. Now how I need to do is, so here what I need to do is, I need to use for each page in. Now for each page in is always expecting you to pass a page list. Now here, what I'm going to remove, where I'm going to remove the details from pending list. So I need to loop the pending list detail first. Now I loop that. Now which one I need to remove? I need to remove where you have this box as checked, right? That means this checked property should be true for that particular page. So when you loop in, again it's the same thing, same concept. Again the context change. Here what I'm going to do is I need to check a when condition where my checked is true. So what I need to do is just you change here to when condition. Okay, first. Now here when condition checked is true. So okay, if you do not have that property, what you can do is you can open that property, that particular property, either in anywhere you like. Okay, let me tell you a shortcut how you're gonna do it. When I click on a dot, here you get all the properties. So just choose the property and then select this one and put it here, and then what you can do is equal to true. This is a when condition, right? So that's why I just wanted to get this property to make it equal to true. But in real time, guys, do not write a when condition over here. In real time, always create a when condition. I'm not going to show you here. That's why I wanted to make it faster. But make sure do not create when condition in here. Do not create, do not write this property directly here. Make sure you are creating a when condition. Okay, I'll repeat again. In future, do not write a condition directly here. Make sure you are creating a when condition. Just to make this video short, I am creating to go with a shortcut. I hope that is clear. Now here what I'm going to do is, now what I did is I have looped this pending task detail every time. Now I put a condition dot checked equal to true. Only during that time I need to remove the property, right? Now to remove the property, there is something called py delete object. So if you see, when you click py delete, right, obviously you can't find xyz hyphen pz hut hyphen data hyphen task data, right? There is something called inheritance. I am planning to create another video on specific to inheritance so that you would understand what is the difference between parent inheritance, pattern inheritance versus the direct one. But for the timing, just understand the word inheritance and then click on more here. So when there is an inheritance for that particular class, you will see all the property. So the property that I am looking for here is py deleted object. So what I'm going to do is simple is I'm going to delete this delete that particular page. Now to delete that particular page, first I need to loop each page of pending task, and I will check a when condition which all page has got that checked property as true, and I will set this property py delete object as true. Once I'm done, then there is a function to delete that. Once you're done, in the same level, note over here, in the same level, it is in 2 level, it is in 3 level. There is a function. Let me go to the build an expression part and search for a function called remove deleted object. Now in this remove deleted object, what it's going to do is click on add icon here. It will take the page list. Now from where you want to remove the property, where you set the property, right, which is our pending task detail. So just pass those page detail. What it does, so obviously you cannot set the target as true. This kind of scenario where you just need to execute a function, just put something called param dot remove. This param dot remove will be created, but it will not have anything, because as this property, if you notice, this property doesn't return anything. Remove, I'll just show you again. Deleted, say remove deleted, this property doesn't have any return type. It just take a clipboard property, that's it, right? So basically what it does, it takes the clipboard property and it deletes that object. Now which object? Where it finds py deleted object is true. So basically what I did, I have looped in pending task detail. I've checked if checked is true, then I've set the py deleted object, and then I perform this option by passing this page list so that it will remove those objects. I hope this is clear. Now what I'm going to, let's go to the section and let's try to execute the same thing. Where is my case type? Let me create a new one just to make sure you will find this properly. So I'll create a save and run. I'll add a task. Need to go to market, study, Pega class, going to play completed. Okay, so now let me, if I say completed task, I do complete. Can you see this is gone from the pending task detail, right? Now if I click on completed task, so if basically, okay, let me just add one and I'll turn on the tracer and show it to you. Click on completed. So you see here, now what happened is, first thing first, so let me map that against the data transform that I have done so that you would understand. So first step, for each page in, I have added that into completed tasks, right? When the first step is done, so step one is starting here, step one is finishing here. So in when the step one is finishing, what happened is I have added those three tasks wherein need to go market. So if you see, my py workplace completed detail has got all the three property, right? Because I had previously two and I have added one now, so three property. Now what happened is, now then what I did is, for each page in loop, I have looped the page in pending task detail. So you see here, for each page in, it checked the condition, checked equal to true. So the first, because out of two, which one I have added? I have added the first one. So first one is true, second one is false, right? So because it's first one true, what it does is, you see set py delete object. So if I click on here, you see that the py delete object for that particular iteration, which is pending task detail 1, will be set to true. And then after you loop them in, you came out from the loop, and then I just execute that function which has made the property to be removed from your pending task detail. So now pending task detail, earlier pending task detail has got two property. Now it has got just earlier pending task detail has got two pages. Now it has just got one pages. I hope this is clear. Now let me recap what all we learned. Basically what we learned is how to use append and map to, how to use append to. Obviously append to, I just told you the theoretical one. Now in append to and append and map to, I have explained you theoretical on how to use a new page, existing page, current source page in, and each page in. I've shown you practically on how to use a new page and each page in. Now let us understand how the short action works. So what I need to do is, first let me show you by creating a new case type so that you would understand. So first thing is, let's say here I have added a, let's say V, D, H, I, right? Now my requirement is, I need to show the list of tasks. So at the moment, what order the task came, based on, depending on the created order, right? Now my requirement is, I need to show this list of tasks based on the alphabetical of the task name. So to achieve that, it's a page list. I need to sort this page list based on that particular task name. Now to do that, what I need to do is, I need to go to the data. I know this data transform has been called. And after I manipulate all the data, what I'll do is, I'll do a sort. Now here in sort, I need to give the pages that I want to sort. So here where the data are in pending task detail. Now in the gear icon is where you can do a short detail. Now click on this gear icon. Here sort page list by property. Here which property I need to sort by? Now task name, right? So just choose task name, and here you can choose ascending and descending. So at the moment, obviously I need it to be ascending. So basically what I did, I told, I want to sort this page list based on this property in an ascending order. This is the simple English, right? Now save it. Now if I go and add another one, which is, let's say if I put Z, so technically what should happen? A, D, G, H, I, obviously, yeah, H, I, V, Z is what order which it should come. If I click on a task, did you see it's automatically sort A, D, H, I, V, Z. Basically what it does, when this action has been called via Pega, it try to sort this pending task detail based on the task name in a ascending order. Let me show you descending order just so that you know it works. So in descending order, if I put anything F, so first Z will come, at the end A will come. So see, Z and A came. So this is how the sort functionality works. Now I hope this is clear. Now the third thing which I wanted to tell you about how this exit data transform works. Let's say I for some reason this is not the right use case to tell, but I'm saying for some reason I don't want this sort functionality to be added. Obviously I can delete it, but I'll just kept a exit data transform before. So what will happen is, it will not exit. So what it will happen is, it will automatically exit the data transform at that particular place, right? Obviously, it has got a warning because this is not the right way of writing the code. I'll just show you how it works. So that's why I'm just showing you. So what I'll do is I'll just go there and I'll turn on the tracer. Okay, I'll just turn on the tracer. So you here, let's say I put anything D or D is already there. Let's say 7 or no P, right? Now if I click on add task, so you see there is nothing sorted. So this is already been sorted. Technically, ideally this P should have been somewhere after V, isn't it? Because this has already been sorted, the page list is in clipboard. Ideally what it should happen is the P should have been gone here. But now it didn't sort because it just added the P at the end. Now why is so? Because if you see data transform begin, it executed everything and at the third step I told exit data transform. So because I called the exit data transform, it just exited from that particular, it didn't even execute anything. So when in real time we use this exit data transform, let's say if I have a complex logic, and because of a when condition I don't want to execute the other logic to happen. So during that time, I'll put a when condition, and depending on that when condition, I want to exit from the data transform. I don't want this logic to be performed. So you can always use this exit data transform. Now exit for each is exactly the same. So I have already explained you how the for each works, right? So basically, let's say in this for each, what will happen? It will try to go each and every iteration. It will try to see the check property is true or not. But what if my requirement is not to loop if you find the first one. So what I'll do is I'll say exit for each here. So what it will do during that time, it will try to loop each and everything, but if it find the first one is true, it will set py deleted object and it will exit from that for each and it will not loop anymore. It will come out. Now I hope this is clear, and this is how the exit for each work. So I'll just recap what all we learned, and I'll just quickly recap about the theoretical knowledge of each and every action. Set, it will set a value. Remove, it will remove from the clipboard. Update page, it will try to update a page in clipboard. So if you click on update page, there are two ways. One is blank page, wherein you can update individual property by giving the value, or with values from, you can bring it from another page. I hope that is clear. Now apply data transform, call another data transform from this particular data transform. Sort, it will try to sort a page list depending on the property that you give, whether it is ascending or descending. Comment, it is just to give a nice feeling to your code so that your lead can understand, or anybody who will see your code at later point of time can understand what is this, what the section of the code is. When, otherwise, they are like if condition depending on the condition. Append to and append and map to is purely for page list functionality. So if you want to have the control over the individual property, go for append and map to. If you just append a single property, you just go with the if you just wanted to bring the whole chunk and wanted to update, then go for append to. Now in append to you got 4 different options, or in append and map to you got 4 different options. You can create a new page in clipboard, or you can copy from an existing page, you can copy from a current source page, or you can loop another page list, and depending on a condition you can always do that, right, which we have shown, we have seen. Now for each page in, it is nothing but a loop, like how you have got this each page in of this one, how it loops. So for each page in also it is a loop. It will try to loop a page list, and depending on what you want in that loop, it will try to get you done. Now exit for each, whenever you just want to get out of the for each operation, you don't want to loop until end, you use exit for each. Exit data transform, whenever depending on a condition you want to get out of the data transform in the middle of a data transform, always go for exit data transform, right? Now when you are applying exit data transform, please be very mindful, because there is a high chance that you may do it wrong. So although it's very simple with respect to functionality, but when you implement, as you know, data transformations are sequential, so make sure you implement that in a right way. So that's the end of the part 3, also end of my data transform series video. I hope it is clear, and I would like to request you all to do the hands-on, not just watch the video. That way you would learn things faster, and can also learn there are a lot of concepts which I am explaining. Do leave me a comment if you have any queries on this, and share these videos with your friends who want to learn Pega or don't know these concepts. Last but not the least, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe and click on the bell notification for my new video updates. Thanks everyone. See you in the next video.